This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. And there's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. Charles is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. And Sylent Knight is with us. Welcome, Sylent Knight. Well, do we have Sylent Knight?
Try this. This works better.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's great. You know, Sylent Knight, it was great seeing you at the meetup last night. It was a really, really fun meetup. You know, we talked about air conditioning, and John Dollarheight and Judy Dollarheight were there, and Linus Ertley was back from Texas, where he had been. He's an insurance adjuster, and he was adjusting from the violent hail damage. He said that there was hail, you know, between the size of marbles and baseballs, you know, huge hail, and you're talking about the damage that did to the roofs, and what kind of roofs seem to survive better than others. And Mike Hicks was there. He was going to bring his car, and we were going to recharge his automobile air conditioning system. And it was so hot that Mike Hicks took his wife's car, which has air conditioning. so we didn't get a chance to load air conditioning refrigerant into his car, but we did. Tim brought his car, Tim Latimer, and Tim helped me teach that class. And that was great. So, and Craig Douglas was there, and you got a chance to spend some time with Craig, and you and Craig Douglas have some ground in common, right? Both of you travel without permits. Both of you get to spend some time with the other team, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So this class, this hour, let's talk about traveling without a permit. Now, my understanding is, Sylent Knight, that you have been interviewed at least 7 times for traveling without a permit. And then sometimes you get to spend some time, you know, in jail as a result of traveling without a permit. So who is Sylent Knight? Well, he's the author of The Underground Railroad Returns to Disappear. Now, if you want to get a copy of this book, just contact us. This is not available on Amazon. It is not available on eBay. It's just not available. There's no ISBN number. And this is an underground book. We have them. They're $15 shipped postpaid. And it's about 160 pages, 150-something pages. I have a copy right here. We have autographed copies if you're interested. So if you need to rescue people and protect them from the system and bring them underground, this is the book. This is how to do it. So, Sylent Knight, you were traveling, and what's your latest adventure?
I was using somebody else's pickup truck, and I was coming home after dark, and there was nobody behind me, you know, nobody on the road. And all of a sudden, headlights come on, and pretty blue flashing lights come on. So there was a school up close, so I turned my blinker on and turned into the parking lot of the school, and of course there's overhead lights in the parking lot. And this enforcer comes up. He says, "May I see your license?" And I said, well, was I doing something illegal? And he said, you were traveling between the yellow and the white line. So,
Wait a minute. So you were traveling between the yellow and the white line. And so this was a 2-lane road, 1 lane each way?
correct.
Well, okay. I was taught that that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I guess in certain parts of Arkansas, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to travel in the ditch or somewhere else. But that was his excuse for pulling me over.
Uh-huh.
So then he asked me, he said, do you have, or can I see your driver's license? And I said, well, I'm a Mennonite. I don't have a social security number. And there's a new federal law, Title 42, 66613, that forbids me to have a driver's license, marriage license, hunting license, work license. And I said, so by federal law, I'm not allowed to have a driver's license or ID. And he was kind of nervous. And at first I thought he was, new on the force or whatever. But he said, well, okay. He says, well, I don't have trouble with that. He says, do you have insurance? And I said, well, it's somebody else's automobile. But I said, I saw it the other day, but I got the cab full of plastic, and so it was hard to find. Anyhow, I couldn't even find the insurance. He said, well, what's your name? And I told him, and I'm going to use a different name just for security reasons, but I said, Byler Colon. And he said, okay. He says, how do you spell Byler? And B-Y-L-E-R. How do you spell colon? C-O-L-O-N. And what he didn't realize was he was getting a punctuation mark rather than a name. But he asked how to spell it, so I spelled it for him. And, if you have a name like Colon, people think that you were teased when you were young and it has something to do with the backside of a person. And so they get very intimidated because they don't want to offend you.
Mm-hmm.
And I changed my name on purpose for that reason, because the computer system in the courthouses, when they type in your name, your address, the judge's name, and the court document number and all of that, when the computer gets to your name, it cannot process a colon mark. So anytime you go to jail or go to court or anything, everything has to be handwritten, and it cannot be entered into the computer, which is kind of nice. And so,
Are you saying that your last name? Are you saying that your last name is the 2 dots, one above the other?
Yes, yeah, and they get intimidated because they're not sure if it's 2 dots or if they're talking about a colon with 1 dot. And, so they do get very intimidated by that. And so I don't mind.
Do you tell them that?
No, I didn't even tell them it was a punctuation mark. But when I signed the citation, and I enjoyed signing this one, but when I signed the citation, I wrote, Byler with a colon mark after it. And he never even looked. And I've been expecting for the last 2 days to get a letter in the mail with his portion of the ticket saying disregard. Because how do you write out a police report? Okay, you have a name with a colon after it, and then you have his police report saying his name was Byler Colon, and there's nothing to put on the police report. man driving without a license. Well, what's he got? Well, who was driving without a license? Well, this man named Colin. But he really wasn't a Colin. He wasn't really a man, or whatever, and they get so confused they can't fill out the police report. So, anyhow, I've been expecting that, and I don't want to. I love to go to court. And this particular time, and being a private attorney general, that's why I love to go to court, because I love to mess with illegal people. And so the first thing that they're probably going to do is mess with me about my name. And so I'll just ask them, well, wait a minute. Have I committed a crime? Why am I here? And they'll ask about my name. Would you identify yourself? No, because of Title 42, 66, on and on. I can't have ID. I cannot identify myself because I'm one of those people that have fallen through the cracks. And then they'll probably continue on that name thing. And I'll just say that, I request a jury trial. And, they're going to deny a jury trial. And the judge is going to say something, and I'll say, well, Your Honor, you might think that these officers are real stupid, but I think that they're kind of intelligent, and they still have feelings. And they have feelings for the Constitution. They signed an oath when they took office to support this Constitution. And now you're denying my rights, my basic right for a trial by jury. And then I'm going to, as a private attorney general, I'm going to say, as a private attorney general bailiff, I expect that you would arrest this man for treason. And we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of things people do in court, and, we just have to try. And the best thing you have is intimidation and, not deception, but...
I'll tell you what, hold that thought. And when we come back, let's talk about your demand to arrest the man in the black robe for treason. Sylent Knight's with us. His book, The Underground Railroad, returns to disappear.
Good people need help. The Homeowners Association said we had weeds and fined us $25. We told them they had the wrong house. They said if we didn't pay it, they'd file a lien. Our attorney demanded photographs, witnesses, and told them if they couldn't provide this, they must cease and desist. Issue solved. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Have you ever wondered if you could make electric, light, or heat in your home for free? How about a motor that charges batteries at the same time? What if this also restores useless batteries and saves you lots of money? Come to our Renaissance Charge Conference workshop on August 15th and 16th in Fort Lauderdale. Visit r-charge.com. That's r-charge.com for details, or call 208-304-2954. 208-304-2954.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Sylent Knight's with us, and Sylent Knight, you were mentioning that you were thinking about asking the men with with guns in the courtroom to arrest the man in the black robe for treason. Please continue.
Okay, let me back up a little bit. The last two trials I had, of course, the judge always waits until the courtroom's empty before he has my trials because he doesn't want anybody to learn anything. But there was 8 officers who had been there all day long for their particular witnessing, of different cases. But they stayed, and they kept on staying. And so when my 2 trials came up, they were all standing there in the jury box or sitting in the jury box listening. And so the judge says, well, Byler, are you ready for your next 2 trials? And I said, when I see a constitutional court and a jury in the jury box, I will be ready. And he said, this is a constitutional court, and you will not get a jury. And I said, well, I stand on my rights for a jury trial, and I will not participate in this court. I went back, sat down by my wife, and they had 2 illegal trials. The elements of a trial is a prosecutor or plaintiff, and then you've got an arbitrator, which is the judge, you have a defendant, and then you have a jury. A witness is not necessary for a trial, but all they had was 2 prosecutors, no arbitrator, and 1 witness. And so they went about these trials. They finished up the trial by sentencing me to unlimited amount of time in jail, which was illegal. And then they reprimanded me to the state police to take me to jail. And, of course, all this time, I have to try not to smile, because this is exciting to me. And so they didn't have anybody there that could transport me, so they had to wait for somebody to transport me. And one of the police officers came over, and she was crying, and she pointed to the other police officers, and she said, Byler, this is not what we stand for. What went on today was illegal. You fight it and you'll win. Which, when I did go to appeal it, I had to smuggle my appellate documents out of the jail through one of the jailers because they wouldn't allow me to use the law library. And course, I couldn't go down to the courthouse to file it. And when they finally kicked me out of jail, I went down there to find out, whether the documents were filed. And the clerk of court, I will call him a hypocrite, he said, I'm not going to file it. And I said, why not? And he said, because you have to pay me $165. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I have a right to an appeal. I'm not asking for the business of an appeal. I have a right. And he said, I'm not going to do it because there was no trial. And so they put me in jail for an unlimited amount of time. They did not give me a trial. They would not let me appeal my case. They would not let me use the law library. And I did get to use the law library about an hour and a half in 40 days. But that was it. But anyhow, what went on at those two trials was there was 8 police officers that switched to be constitutional. Every one of them thought that what went on that day in that courtroom was illegal. And so as a private attorney general, that's a major victory. And then about a year later, I was in a grocery store, 2 hours away from there, and I saw one of the deputies, and I headed toward him, and he come toward me, and we shook hands, talked for a little bit. He said, Filer, he said, you just don't know what effect you had on the sheriff's department. And he didn't extrapolate, I mean, he did say earlier that they really had an exciting time looking at the videos inside the jail, and they just, I guess I was their best entertainment they'd had in years. Because
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought, Sylent Knight, and let's talk a little bit more about the videos that they're watching of you in the jail. And they kicked you out after 40 days. So unlimited time, and you spent 40 days, and they kicked you out. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
A national crisis is here, and most people are not ready. If you could not leave home, how well would you fare? We've been told for years to have a supply of food stored, but the reasons may be different than you think. Infectious disease, domestic terrorism, and government regulations can and will prevent you from going to the store. If you've ever considered getting a supply of food, now is the time. Call Go Foods at 1-800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Did you know that drinking pure, high-alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Sylent Knight's with us, and he's been telling us about his experience, and the deputies were watching the video, or the videos of Sylent Knight in jail, put there because he was traveling without a state-issued permit. So 40 days in jail. Please continue.
Okay. Two of the notable things that they were watching. One is, excuse me, and normally in jail like that, once a week they have to haul somebody off to the hospital because they got beat up, or there was fights probably 2 times a day. And in our pod, there was only one fight in all the times that I was in jail, which was 71 days. And there's the disruptions, guys would get angry with each other, and I'd go in there and I'd say, now, boys, this guy's not your enemy. Your enemy's on the outside. And so there was peace in the jail, and then occasionally they would see me and another man get down on our knees, and I would lead a man to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And then at one particular time when I was allowed to use the law library, anytime I went out of the pod, I was shackled on my ankles with an 8-inch chain that had a chain going up to a leather belt around my waist, with about a 10-inch chain to a pair of handcuffs. And all the murderers and the rapists and stuff, they were allowed to go pick up trash on the highway with no handcuffs or anything. But when I went out of that pod, I was chained, just like if they were taking me to a prison camp. And so they let me use the law library 1.5 hours in 40 days. And so I was transported to the law library, which was about 70 feet down the hall. And I get in there, and the books that I needed were on the top shelf. So I pushed the chair over, and they're watching this on video. I pushed the chair over. Well, you can't step up on the chair because your chain's only 8 inches long. So you have to get up on your knees, and then you have to do like an acrobat and do a handstand on the back of the chair to get your feet on the seat. Well, then I got on the chair, and I could reach the book with the finger on the bottom of the binding, and I'd pull it out and catch it, and I wasn't going to repeat that process 3 times to get the 3 different books I needed. So I just pitched the book onto the table. Well, these law books are very expensive, and that's kind of sacrilege to do that, but I enjoyed doing it. And so I threw 3 books on the table, and getting down was a lot easier because I could jump. And then I went through the law books for that hour and a half, and I took notes, and I put markers in the pages, which pages I needed copied, so forth. And then they were supposed to come in, take the book, copy the pages, give me 3 copies each, and send them back to the pod. Well, the books disappeared, actually. They weren't even in the law library after that. And so I never got the copies, and I had to do my appeal by memory. But the deputy that I talked to, he said we were just fascinated. Any time of the day or night, we could go to those videos, that pod, and watch the 3 videos involved. And it was exciting to see what was going on. And, we had fun in our pod. I mean, we played recipe with the food, and there was so much that, and the other guys enjoyed it, and they treated me like a king. I mean, if jail was supposed to be punishment, they missed the mark there.
So they threw you out. Why? Because you weren't paying your way?
Yeah. About 25 years earlier, when I had moved to Arkansas, I tried to be a chaplain at the jail, a volunteer chaplain. And you had to have a Social Security number and a driver's license, so they wouldn't let me. So then when I got arrested, that gave me standing to be a volunteer chaplain at the jail. And I'm going to back up a tiny bit. There were 2 guys who had decided to follow Jesus about 3 weeks, I believe, before I got in there. And, they were having a struggle with the scripture, and they prayed, and they said, Lord, send us a blankety-blank Bible thumper. And you got to realize these guys are in the rough, really in the rough. But it's funny how God answers their prayer. And, of course, I didn't have any control over how God answered their prayer, because 3 days later, I walked in with my mattress and my toiletries, and Crazy Charlie was up on the top deck, and he saw me, and he come running down and gave me a hug and dropped my stuff on the floor, and he introduced me to everybody. And the other guy was a shot caller, and the shot caller's the meanest guy in the pod. He controls how much whiskey everybody gets or drugs that the deputies smuggle in and so forth. And you don't normally mess with the shot caller. And he grabs that guy by the shoulder, and he said, God answered our prayer. Here's our blankety-blank Bible thumper. And so the shot caller stands up, and he gives me a hug, and he says to everybody, this is a man of God, leave him alone. So I was treated like a king in there. I mean, I enjoyed myself. It's the best vacation I ever had. And at the time, I had cancer, so it was real nice to not have to be out in the sun. I was in an air-conditioned building. I got 3 catered meals every day, and 8 to 12 hours of Bible study every day, and so it was wonderful for me. But anyhow, back to the Social Security number and driver's license. If you go to jail, you don't get to stay there for free. $15 a day comes off your Social Security account to pay the rent, and $35 a day comes out of your Social Security account to pay on the fine. Well, without a Social Security account, they don't make any money in the jail taking care of you, and they don't have any money to pay your fine. So at the end of 71 days, which there was 31 days the first time and then 40 days the second time, at the end of the 71 days, they owed $6,800 that they had to pay, and they didn't make a dime from me staying there. And so the sheriff was talking to the jail administrator, and, well, if he's not paying his way, kick him out. We can't afford to keep him. So I couldn't be a minister at the jail because I didn't have a Social Security number and driver's license. And I got kicked out of jail because I didn't have a Social Security number and driver's license.
Let me ask you this. Is it worth it? Is it worth the fight that you're in by not having a state authorized issued permit?
Well, for me it is. Because I'm free. You know, I coined the phrase, you know, without a Social Security number, you're a free man. But you have no freedom. So you have to take your freedom. And, you know, like Greg said last night, you can't rent a motel, you can't rent construction equipment, you can't rent a car. You know, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. You can't fly on an airplane, you can't come back into the country, you know. So you don't have a lot of what other people consider freedoms, even though it's just privileges. But for me, you know, when I get in my automobile, I'm not afraid to get pulled over. I do practice the art of avoidance. You know, you find that a four-way stop, and there's a enforcer for the corporations. If he's sitting on one of the other lanes, I allow him to go first because I just soon not have him behind me. Sure. But so I practice the art of avoidance. But other than that, when I travel or when I'm around and about, it's like I'm in a bubble and everybody else is in chains. And I feel so good being in the bubble. And I don't condemn other people that do have a Social Security number, but it's like I'm free. And when I go to jail, I'm still in that bubble because I'm still free, even though I'm locked up. And I just make the best of it. You know, they can take my freedom from their angle, but they can't take the joy of the Lord that I have. And so they're just dumbfounded because this guy is not being punished. He's not paying his way. Nothing seems to bother him. And he makes a fool of the judges and lawyers in the court. And so I enjoy it. I mean, and of course I'd never go back, you know, because I had a selective service number when I was probably 19, but I would never go back to a number. I don't have a library card. Of course I can't. I don't have any numbers associated with my name.
Sylent Knight, if you were in the military, would you advise young people to enlist?
Actually, no. If they are even thinking of enlisting, I would recommend that they study Nazism, you know, at least a year beforehand, and then say, would I become one of those SS guards, or would I become a Gestapo? Because when you go into the military this day and age, you are fighting for the Fourth Reich of the Nazi Party. And American military is part of the Fourth Reich. Fire departments are part of the Fourth Reich. EMTs, hospitals, teachers, they're all part of the Fourth Reich. And colleges, universities are the same. And, you know, it takes a lot of study to find all this stuff out. But America is not America. America is Nazism.
Sylent Knight, I've been receiving emails during this broadcast how to get your book. Your book is called The Underground Railroad Returns to Disappear by The Sylent Knight, SYLENT KNIGHT. If you'd like a copy of the book, I will send it to you. I have them in my possession. They're autographed. And just send me an email, Vincent@usaprepares.com, Vincent@usaprepares.com, and put in on the subject line, Sylent Knight book. I'll read it and tell you how to get it.
Hi, Peter Vaccaro for ParanormalDate.com. Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? Now you have a chance to change that. by signing up for free at paranormaldate.com. This incredible dating site puts people of like minds together. People who are interested in the strange, the unusual, mysteries, ghosts, UFOs, and the afterlife, and so much more. ParanormalDate.com was developed for you, people seeking a viable alternative to the other dating services. You can join for free by going to ParanormalDate.com, and if you decide you like it and want to connect with people, use the code GEORGE for a substantial discount. Mark Rawlings, president of ParanormalDate.com, says so many people hunger to share their experiences about the paranormal, the unexplainable, or the afterlife, and so much more, and this is the source for them to meet and share that common interest. So sign up for free at ParanormalDate.com, ParanormalDate.com, and use the code GEORGE if you decide to connect with someone you like.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically, and Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order, and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11, and I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. Call 1-888-379-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-888-379-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-888-379-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-888-379-MY-TV. 1-888-379-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-888-379-MY-TV. 1-888-379-MY-TV.
Sylent Knight's with us, and We've been talking about being arrested and spending time in jail, what it's really like. And as I was mentioning, if you'd like a copy of The Underground Railroad Returns to Disappeared, autographed copies, I have them here with me in the studio. If you'd like one, they're $15, postage paid. You cannot buy this book on Amazon. You cannot buy it on eBay. You will not find it in the library. There's no ISBN number. We have them, and we can ship them to you. You cannot get in touch with the Sylent Knight. So if you'd like a copy of the book or multiple copies, just send $15 to us. And I'll give you our address. It's P.O. Box 99, P.O. Box 99, Grove Spring, one word, Grove, Spring, Spring, Mo, Missouri. P.O. Box 99, Grove Spring, Missouri, MO 65662. And enclose your payment for $15, and I will send you a copy of the Sylent Knight's book, The Underground Railroad Returns to Disappear. Sylent Knight, please share with us what, we only have a couple minutes, but please share with us what this book is about and why it's so important to those who want to avoid having family members kidnapped by the plague.
Okay, one of the biggest businesses in America is child trafficking, and it's not just in America, it's in every country, even in the African countries, but it's the biggest in Europe, Australia, Canada, and America. And if they can take a child, they get paid a lot of money. And this has nothing to do with child protection or doing something to help the child in their negative situation. It is all about money and child trafficking. And they will take them, run them through the medical system. They get paid a lot of money all the way around. If they adopt out a white child, they get $85,000. Last year, there were 314,000 children kidnapped in the United States by the CPS or Child Protective Services, the different names and so forth. What the book does is give you several instances of real life happenings of how people were kidnapped and how they were saved and how they didn't get kidnapped. And then toward the end of the book, it gives you an idea of how to set up your own line. And it doesn't take very much work. And you can get 5 or 6 friends, send them the book, say, what do you think about this? Is this something that we can do? And if each one of them has 5 or 6 friends, the Underground Railroad gets huge in a quick hurry. And if you think your children are immune from being kidnapped, that's a pretty big fallacy, because 1 in 70 children are kidnapped in the United States.
By the system.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So we're not talking about children being kidnapped by people that we would think would be bad. We're talking about children being kidnapped by people who we formerly believed to be good. Right?
Correct.
Uniformed people who have government jobs, people whose business it is to rescue children from the safety of their homes and put them in harm's way. And Child Protective Services and ilk like that, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we've gotten a number of panic calls here at the farm from people who have been visited by Child Protective Services. And it's pretty frightening. They show up with the police, and don't let these people in your property. Don't let them. Sylent Knight, thanks so much for being with us. And if you'd like a copy of the book, it's $15. Just send a check or money order to, or cash, wrapped up in foil, to USA Prepares, P.O. Box 99, Grove Spring, Missouri, 65662. Or just send me an email and just put in the subject line, Sylent Knight, and put it in capital letters, please. We get over 500 emails a day, and we'd like yours to stand out. Sylent Knight, thanks so much for being with us.
You're welcome, Tim.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Have you ever wondered if you could make electric, light, or heat in your home for free? How about a motor that charges batteries at the same time? What if this also restores useless batteries and saves you lots of money? Come to our Renaissance Charge Conference workshop on August 15th and 16th in Fort Lauderdale. Visit r-charge.com. That's r-charge.com for details, or call 208-304-2954. 208-304-2954.
All loans subject to OnDeck score approval must be in business at least 1 year to apply. Attention small business owners needing financing. Are you too busy running your business to deal with the slow lending process of your bank? Are you frustrated at the paperwork and delays just trying to get a decision? Then you need OnDeck, the A+ Better Business Bureau rated small business experts, where our simple application process takes as little as 10 minutes and funding could be available in just 1 business day. At OnDeck, we focus on your business operation and cash flow, not just your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with loans of up to $250,000. True business loans, not credit card advances. OnDeck provides financing to a wide variety of small businesses like restaurants, plumbing, landscaping, freight trucking, and healthcare providers. If you're frustrated with the paperwork and long decision times of traditional lenders, contact OnDeck. Funding could be available in just 1 business day. OnDeck is publicly listed on the New York Stock Exchange and has provided over $2 billion to small businesses like yours. So go to OnDeckLending.com today or call 800-293-6819. That's 800-293-6819.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Now, a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95, but now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of Ionic Silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com.
Watch the greenbacks tumble. Feel the stallion crumble.
Everyone all set and cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Rich Scheben's with us, off-grid Montana. Welcome, Rich Scheben.
Thank you, Vincent. How are you today?
Hey, Rich, I was just talking with our engineer, John Harmon. And he's Alex Jones' engineer. And we were talking about how you used to have a job. And you'd go to work and you'd travel around representing a pharmaceutical giant. And you jumped off that corporate ladder and you live in a cabin with you generate your own electricity and you're living the survival lifestyle. And that you love it, offgridmontana.com. So, Rich, I got a couple emails from you, and I can't open any of them.
You're kidding.
My email client says, warning. It won't let me open, no matter what I do. So, yeah. So I just wanted to tell you that we're going to do a broadcast classroom, and I have not been able to open your MRI document, the PDF. So anyway, why don't we talk about what happened to you at your job? And, when you get, I guess the thrust of this is, you give your work day in turn for compensation to some corporation. They use you up as best they can. They expect more from you than they're paying you. And when something happens to your health, they say, "Oh, I just burned up another one. Let's go get some more." Right? Isn't that what happens?
Yeah, it's pretty much all these politically correct buzzwords that we hear, folks, like equality, fairness, tolerance, transparency, accountability. They're basically an illusion. We get basically everything from crimes to paychecks and everything in between basically varies depending on what group you are in. And that's why you always hear me say things like, Vince, like, how long do you expect to live in the land of the free and the home of the brave if we don't have the guts to stand for principle? And how I define principle is to have the same rules, laws, and accountability for everybody in American soil. And if we all stuck together with synergy, and we all demanded that from everybody from our 4 branches of government, and I say that with a little tongue-in-cheek because I'm including the old media, and, all of the banks, especially the central banks to the small town banks, big corporate oligarchies to big government, small government. If we all demanded the same rules, laws, and accountability, we would not have all this corruption and manipulation that we have today.
One of the things that I've been teaching, traveling around the country, speaking about starting your own business and taking the same tax deductions that the rich take. That's the name of one of seminars that I teach. And another one is how big are the lies? I mean, they were talking about the moon landing hoax and, other big lies like fluoride is good for you and cell phones don't cause cancer and radiated food is good for you and GMO's okay. And this geoengineering, that's conspiracy theory. I've been exposing the lies. And I've also been teaching that, okay, now that you know that there are these huge lies and the government is lying to you like about everything, you can start saying no. And one of the things that the system really does not like is if you interrupt commerce, if you slow down commerce. And one of the ways you can do it is when you are demanded to produce an identification for a credit card transaction, you can say no, or you can say to the clerk that just ran your purchases through the conveyor belt and scanned them in, and now once you've already swiped your credit card or your debit card and they want to see your ID, like at the Chinese factory outlet, aka Walmart, what you can do is just say, I'll be right back, and then race off to your car. And then come back 15 minutes later. I mean, that's interrupting commerce because now what do they do with the stuff that you just bought? The transaction is kind of suspended. There are people in line behind you. Now everybody's mad at the cashier because the cashier just did something to cause the whole line to stop. So now they've got to either open up another line or they have to put your purchases to the side or they have to void the transaction. They've got to do something until you come back. And then you come back 15 minutes later and, I'm so sorry. I thought it was in the car. And now you still don't have an ID, right? I went to Harbor Freight yesterday. Yep. Harbor Freight Tools. And that's the Chinese tool factory outlet. And I wanted to buy some wrenches, emergency wrenches to put in each vehicle. And they had a sale on them. And I don't know how they do it, but for $5.99, you could get 9 wrenches, either metric or SAE. So I bought several sets of these wrenches, and they're going to go in the tool kits in each car, kind of like a go bag for emergency maintenance or repairs. And so the person in front of me and the person in front of that person, the cashier said, okay, credit card, good, ID, driver's license. So I thought for this one time I would cooperate. So I handed the cashier my credit card, and I have all kinds of aliases. Okay. One of the aliases, one of them is Anthony Soprano. Another, is Hunter Creek. I've got a whole bunch of these credit cards with all kinds of different names on them, and they're all my accounts. So I used the one that said Hunter Creek. And, so the name on the card, first name is Hunter, last name is Creek. And I used that credit card, and she wanted to see my license. So my license has my name on it. My real name, Vincent Finelli. Mm-hmm. She looked at both of them, and it was cool. So what was she actually doing? I guess either she can't read or something because they didn't match. I mean, they weren't even close.
Yeah, it's all part of the control data process. They want
you will cooperate. You will cooperate. And in my license, by the way, Rich, my eyes are closed. I have probably the only license in the state of Missouri where my eyes are closed. And they're not just closed a little bit. I mean, I'm squinting, contorted face, eyes closed. And if this is not a picture you'd be proud of. And I did that because
with all the interruption in commerce, like you mentioned earlier, Vince, they practically eliminated free markets and supply and demand, because every rule, law, and accountability is varied depending on what group you're in America, and that's so. Now, did you want me to go over my MRI?
Sure. So what happened? What happened?
Okay. Well. Long story short is I was working for Big Pharma. I was working for GlaxoSmithKline. I had a lot of problems with my spine. They tried to get me to go to health services. My attorney said, "Don't do it because they'll put you on disability." So I squeaked an extra 7 years out. I'm making a very long story short because I was trying to get this part-time job share, and they told me it was for women only, even though I had physicians, including one of Glaxo's physicians, tell my company that I needed to reduce my driving by 50%. Now, one of the reasons I didn't share the MRI in the book or in the DVD video or any of the talks I do is because I want to give people, I don't want people to give up on their goals, their dreams, their health of themselves. Now, my MRI says severe from C3 to C6, okay? And the reason why I didn't put that out is because I was hoping, who knows, maybe I could get a job down the road, but with all this, the sophistication in today's databases, anybody can find this because there's no confidentiality in medicine anymore. Now, my symptoms are, folks, like I have stinging and burning pain down my right arm. I have loss of muscular atrophy on the whole right side of my body from 2 types of spinal stenosis, numbness and severe headaches in the back right side of my skull, and I have heart attack symptoms on the left side of my chest on a semi-regular basis. And I want to give the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if I could have gotten that part-time job share 7 years earlier, these symptoms wouldn't have happened, because my neurosurgeons told me that was the critical part of my career where I did so much driving around Montana. That's what really basically got me to the point of no return. Now, I still do most things. I live off grid. I still hunt. I still harvest firewood. I just use a wood splitter. I drive up to my kill, or I have someone pack me in and pack me out. My motto is moderation and modification. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that we all stick up for human rights, because we've gotten to the point where none of that stuff even makes any difference anymore, because civil rights policies, folks, were designed to be judged by individual merit and not what group we're in. If the powers that be, and we keep letting them, which we are, create this false illusion of equality, it brings down the whole quality of life for everybody. Now, I don't want to dwell on this MRI report, and this is the last one I got was last Christmas because I was down for a couple of weeks. And, I have bouts that I can't do anything because I'm in so much pain or so much paralysis or loss of strength. I've canceled hunting trips before. But I do most things. I'm not going to give up, and that's the message I want to pass on to you. But, folks, what the powers that be are doing is distracting, dumbing down, and dividing us into groups. And we cannot allow that to happen because, and I know I've used this example on your show before, Vince. Well, I had the privilege of listening to Dr. Ben Carson live. He came to Northwest Montana. The first words out of his mouth, no lie, at his talk was, "I hate political correctness." And he mentions how it turns minorities into victims. Now, and of course it does, because think about what we're doing, folks. When we lower the bars of standards and expectations for certain groups, that the powers that be are basically segregating them as victim group status or protectionist group status. This is really an insult. But when you lower those bars of standards and expectations and quality, you're insulting their work ethic, their intelligence, and their ability to do those jobs.
Rich Scheben, Off-Grid Montana. And when we come back, I'm going to share something with you that I've never told you about GlaxoSmithKline. I was able to spend some time there. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered if you could make electric, light, or heat in your home for free? How about a motor that charges batteries at the same time? What if this also restores useless batteries and saves you lots of money? Come to our Renaissance Charge Conference workshop on August 15th and 16th in Fort Lauderdale. Visit r-charge.com. That's r-charge.com for details, or call 208-304-2954. 208-304-2954.
Want to listen to your favorite GCN hosts and programs without a radio signal or internet? Just call 605-562-4213. Get instant access to all GCN live feeds right on your phone, anywhere you want, anytime you want. 605-562-4213. It's our way of ensuring everyone has the opportunity to enjoy GCN. 605-562-4213. The future of talk radio. GCN.
By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
All loans subject to on-deck score approval, must be in business at least 1 year to apply. Attention small business owners needing financing. Are you too busy running your business to deal with the slow lending process of your bank? Are you frustrated at the paperwork and delays just trying to get a decision? Then you need OnDeck, the A+ Better Business Bureau rated small business experts, where our simple application process takes as little as 10 minutes and funding could be available in just 1 business day. At OnDeck, we focus on your business operation and cash flow, not just your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with loans of up to $250,000. True business loans, not credit card advances. OnDeck provides financing to a wide variety of small businesses like restaurants, plumbing, landscaping, freight trucking, and healthcare providers. If you're frustrated with the paperwork and long decision times of traditional lenders, contact OnDeck. Funding could be available in just 1 business day. OnDeck is publicly listed on the New York Stock Exchange and has provided over $2 billion to small businesses like yours. So go to OnDeckLending.com today or call 800-293-6819. That's 800-293-6819.
Now, a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95, but now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of ionic silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com.
It's a terrifying thought. You're trapped somewhere without a radio and no access to GCN shows. A doctor's office, the DMV, your mother-in-law's.
Come on, stay for dinner.
That's what makes the newly redesigned GCN Live app a true lifesaver. Listen to your favorite GCN hosts and programming on your smartphone, wherever you are. Download yours free on iTunes or Google Play. The new GCN Live app. Don't leave home without it.
Rich Scheben's with us, Off-Grid Montana. Rich, I had an experience with GlaxoSmithKline. I was invited to one of their major sites at where they had an image processing system. This is probably in 1984. And this system was capturing digitally large volumes of information, drug trial testing information. So they were writing massive amounts of data to these optical discs. You know, we think they're really common today, but in the 1980s, there were no DVDs as we know them. There were no CDs as we know them. They were large platters the size of a 33 and a third RPM long-playing record vinyl. You know, we're talking like 10 inches in diameter, maybe even 12. And so the drug trial information was written, and that was the beginning of capturing enormous amounts of data and tracking patients optically, digitally for rapid retrieval. And the systems back then were, you know, in their infancy, and they were very, very expensive. And there was even a police department in North Carolina that was using optical data storage back then to store informations about police encounters. So I just wanted to share that anecdote with you about GlaxoSmithKline. I saw it there firsthand. I saw how it worked, and I spent the day with GlaxoSmithKline looking at how they were storing records of drug trials and patient information, you know, back in the 1980s in massive, massive quantities. And that's nothing compared to today, because today information is so inexpensive to store compared to back then. So there's just a short anecdote.
Yeah, and
Rich, would you like to go ahead?
I have no problem with anybody or any company being self-righteous as long as they practice what they preach. But, you know, just since I was forcibly retired, I have some articles right in front of me. Drug giant pleads guilty for $3 billion for drug marketing for GlaxoSmithKline. U.S. media blackout, Italian courts rule vaccines cause autism. This was the GlaxoSmithKline drug. There's another article right here that says pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline accidentally, and that's in quotes, released concentrated live polio virus in the environment in Belgium. So, you know, if they feel that only certain groups can get certain benefits, that's fine. But if you're gonna be playing God, I think you need to practice what you preach, and they are obviously not doing that. And because they're so wealthy and they're so powerful, you know, they're basically trumping truth with manufactured perception. And this is why, folks, we all need to stick together at whatever level it is and not allow this distracting, dumbing down, and division by groups of America. We need to be thinkers and not followers, or else if we don't have synergy, we might as well call ourselves the divided groups of America, and we will never be free. Every day we're going to lose more freedoms and liberty if we do not stick together. And I really feel that the only way to fix America is from the bottom up, because the top is too corrupt. The big oligarchies and the big government that has created this alliance, we are in full-fledged fascism in America. And that's a very dangerous place to be, whether it be GMO foods, the Monsantos of the world, the central bankers of the world, any big corporation that has a lot of money and power that is already in bed with our government. It's going to destroy our health, freedoms, and liberties on a regular basis.
You know, there's some of our instructors in class who want to approach our Congress critters and say, hey, here's how we want you to vote. You know, I have my serious doubts as to, no matter how many phone calls, no matter how many postcards, no matter how many emails, I don't think it's going to matter much at all. I think that you're absolutely right. The top is broken, and the people who we have allegedly elected to represent our interests are not. They don't seem to be concerned. They'll do things like they'll vote on it before they read it. This is insanity. So you're right. We have to fix it at the bottom, which is where we are. And I believe, and I mentioned this in public, run for office, run for school board, fire the superintendents, fire the principals. You know, you don't want Obama lunches? Fire the people who are bringing them to you. Get rid of them. Run for school board. We'll be right back. with Rich Scheben. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
In 1 week, our car broke down and our roof started to leak. We really needed money for repairs.
I really needed to move to a bigger apartment, but with my credit card payments and other bills, I couldn't afford the security deposit.
When over 100,000 people needed money this year, they turned to Avant.
Avant was great. They relieved a lot of financial stress.
I was approved for a personal loan through Avant. The next day, I had $4,000 in my account.
Avant can get you the personal loan you need fast. It's simple to apply, and there's no risk because checking your rate with Avant has no effect on your FICO score. Right now, Avant will also give you a $50 Amazon.com gift card after your first installment is made on time. To check your rates risk-free and get this special offer, go to Avant.com today and enter promo code 5757 at checkout. That's www.avant.com, promo code 5757.
Loans are made by WebBank, a Utah Industrial Bank, equal housing lender, and by affiliates of Avant Incorporated.
Incorporated. California loans offered by Avant will be made under financial lender's license number 603K124. Funds are generally deposited via ACH for delivery next business day if approved by 4:30 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. Amazon is not a sponsor of this promotion. Other restrictions apply. See website for details.
Rich Scheben's with us, Off-Grid Montana, offgridmontana.com. Rich, this summer I am working hard with the family to make sure that we get our solar panels on the barn roof and start generating electricity the way you do, via the sun. If you had a chance to undo that, if you had a chance to bring in electricity from the utility company, would you change your lifestyle, or would you continue generating electricity with your solar panels and then topping off with the generator when the sun just isn't out?
You use the generator a few months during the year, Vince. I prefer being off grid. It's been my dream. It's been my goal. There are some sacrifices you have to make here in northwest Montana during the low light, short day winter months, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because I've learned a lot of skills. Now, because you're probably going to have a much bigger battery system than me, and you're a lot further south. I only have a 675 amp hour system, basically 4 6-volt batteries wired together. A total of 12 batteries in 3 strings of 4. So I really don't need a lot of energy because we have computers in the cabin. We don't have a regular television. We don't have a pressure tank. We don't have a hot water heater. We basically cook with a wood cook stove during the winter months. So we don't really use a lot of power. And I think the hardest question you're going to have is deciding how you want to live. And you're going to have to look at your winter months, depending on how cloudy they are and where you position your solar panels. Are they mobile to go with the sun, move with the sun? You're just going to have to figure out how many amp hour of a system, and that's the toughest trick. Everything else is self-explanatory. The trimeter, the solar controller, the inverter / charger. I mean, all those are pretty easy to figure out. But what you have to do is really figure out the size of the system that you want. In other words, the size of your batteries and how many amp hours you're going to have. Because once a week, once every 7 or 8 days, Vince, you're going to have to fill them up to almost full. And the bigger your system, just like a big barrel of water to fill up versus a small cup of water to fill up, you're going to have to use that secondary or supplementary device like a generator a lot more often in order to keep your batteries strong and the capacity strong.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want to do is call GCN and say, I can't do it because it's not sunny today or yesterday. I don't want to do that. And Rich, we have been trapped into buying electronics that are absolutely, totally dependent on having electricity at that wall outlet. And here's what I mean. In the studio with me, I have a multi-line telephone. It has 4 lines. Mm-hmm. But it will not work without supplemental power. It cannot run off the power from the phone jack. It needs an additional amount of power. It needs to be plugged into the wall, the 120 volts. So that's something that we have to take into consideration. And then, of course, those dark, gloomy days that seem to be ever present because of the geoengineering. As a matter of fact, Dane Wigington said to me, the reason he started paying a lot of attention to the sun was he had this solar system and it just stopped generating the electricity that he was expecting. It was delivering about half of what he expected. And it's because of global dimming. We're making these overcast days. So we just don't receive the sun. So that's another problem. And you're absolutely right. And I have not determined the size of the battery bank. That's the stumbling point for me right now. I have not I've not come to a decision as to how large this should be. But it does need to be large enough so that I can run the computers to do the broadcast. I've got to do that every morning for several hours, plus prepare for the broadcast, which involves, more time. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But in your case, you have scaled down your electrical consumption demand from your system. You don't have things that you deem are unnecessary, right?
Well, that's true. We've gotten into this mentality in America with this politically correct follower, cookie cutter mentality situation where we have to have this to survive. That is not true. When I give a talk or I'm talking about off-grid in general, I make it very clear that I want to live in a home that I could live in, that's useful and has functionality without electricity at all. Without electricity at all. Now, I just read an article this morning that this concern about EMPs and the grid, because of all the hackers and the technology that's increasing, that puts more and more stress on keeping our grid functional. So I always say, why can't we're always saying, what are they going to do, folks? What's the Agenda 21 people, the IRS, the judges, the Federal Reserve, the UN, what are they going to do? I think it's time to say, what are we going to do? Why can't we have a plan B? Why don't we have a golden parachute? So this is why I believe in having a plan B and a plan C and a plan D, and living a certain way, living below your means, knowing the fine line between needs and wants, but concentrating on things that are functional and necessary instead of things that are more in the luxury category. I'm not saying I don't live without any luxuries, okay? I'm just saying that I try to get my ducks in a row first because there's so much uncertainty with all the corruption and manipulation in this country. Because we're not getting a job anymore based on how hard you work, the effort you put out, the qualifications, the results. All these things are, again, part of the political correct buzzwords. It now depends on what group you're in because they want to divide us. They want to have our heads spin. They want us to fight against each other. And this is why I'm so redundant on the word synergy, whether it be a talk or the book or whatever. This is the way we need to read, we need to research, folks, and we need to share information, just like Vince does on the radio every day, for the betterment of mankind, especially the poor and the middle class.
Interesting you say this. As you were saying it, I was thinking about last weekend, and I was at a preparedness convention in Springfield, Missouri. It was, within a 120-mile round trip of the forum. And I was talking about the cell phones, and I asked how many people had cell phones. One guy did not have a cell phone. Only one guy. Another guy said he didn't have one with him, but he has one. So everybody in this seminar, and it was a lot of people there, they all had cell phones except for one man and me. So the two of us didn't have a cell phone. And I was thinking about, why is it that we're willing to kill ourselves with these? And I asked, I explained the microwave radiation. I explained how it's a slow kill. I explained how you can cook food quickly in a microwave oven, or you can set it to low power and it'll cook it, but it'll take longer. And we're using the same frequencies right next to our head for these cell phones. And I asked how many people were willing to dump their cell phone, as I did. How many? Nobody. Nobody. Not one person in any seminar I have given talking about cell phones and the dangers to grandparents, parents, children. Not one person is willing to dump his or her cell phone. I find that absolutely fascinating. So the tie to this is, you're talking about scaling down. You're talking about getting away from some of the electrically powered devices. And what would they be? They'd be like a Blu-ray player. They'd be like a DVD player. Those wireless devices, the Wi-Fi, all of these things that that we have in our homes that don't last a very long time. They last a short time, but people really don't want to get rid of them. And I'm not sure why, knowing. And I said, well, so if would you take poison in small doses? Nobody wants to do that, but they don't want to get rid of their cell phone, which is poison in small doses.
Vince, it's the same thing with smart meters. They put out ill health radiations as well. You know, I really think it's the misinformation that's coming out of the old media, and that's how I like to refer to them. We got to keep remembering, folks, it's not a left-right paradigm. That is false. That's phony. There's a 5% difference between the Republicans and Democrats. You can look at that with Obamacare passing, with amnesty, with dozens of legislation. There is very little difference. It's all theatrics. And it's analogous to the 6 corporations that own all the radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, magazine, production companies, publishers. This is why I love GCN, and this is why I'm on several shows with GCN, because you guys have the guts to say the truth, and you realize, and I talk about this all the time, I think as Americans we should prefer to be hated for telling the truth versus wanting to be loved for blowing smoke up somebody's butt. And that's where this misinformation is coming from. People don't realize that the true paradigm is the aristocracy versus the serfs. In other words, the royalty, the elite, the super powerful, super wealthy versus the rest of us. And they are manufacturing information and manufacturing perception. So we live in an emperor has no clothes society. That's why I'm so adamant, folks, on checking through several websites and researching yourself. We all have to do some reading, but it's our obligation as free-thinking Americans to share this information if we can better the lives of our fellow Americans, especially poor middle-class Americans.
And Rich Scheben, you jumped ship, left the corporate world for your plan B, which is now your plan A, and so have I. We'll talk more about that when we get back, right after these few short commercial announcements. Rich Scheben, offgridmontana.com.
Honey, it's time for dinner. What are you doing over there on your computer?
I'm shopping for a new wallet. Mine is falling apart. Hey, did you know there's a company called ID Stronghold that makes shielded wallets to prevent electronic pickpocketing?
Oh, I didn't realize there was such a thing as electronic pickpocketing. What is that?
Well, apparently, many of the new credit and debit cards being issued have radio chips inside them called RFID that transmit our banking information to card readers when we pay. Unfortunately, a bad guy can also get one of these readers and go around the city scanning people, collecting their credit card numbers and personal information without us knowing it.
Wow, that sounds scary. Since you're getting a new wallet anyway, you should definitely get an ID Stronghold shielded wallet. Are they more expensive?
No. In fact, I can get a shielded leather wallet from IDStronghold.com for the same price or less than regular unshielded wallets from other stores.
Sounds great. My wallet isn't falling apart yet, but let me pick one out too. I want to be protected, and these wallets at IDStronghold.com look fantastic.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. A toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworld.com.
Hi, John Hubner from Midas Resources. Are you tired of watching your hard-earned assets dwindle away? As government spending is out of hand and the Federal Reserve is creating in excess of $20 billion a week, are you tired of stockbrokers gambling away your hard-earned money? Is this market a setup for a crash greater than 1987? Too many of today's policies resemble those that led to the collapse of 1929. This is John Hubner, and that was me in 2007. And we all know what happened when the subprime credit bubble burst. By March 2009, the dollar lost 50% of its value. The entire U.S. banking system was on the verge of collapsing. Like all financial problems of the past, is history about to repeat itself? Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129, before it's too late to protect yourself. Will the oncoming catastrophe take all private IRAs, 401ks with it? There is a way to protect your hard-earned assets. Call me, John Hubner, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 129.
Hi, Peter Vaccaro for ParanormalDate.com. Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? Now you have a chance to change that by signing up for free at ParanormalDate.com. This incredible dating site puts people of like minds together. People who are interested in the strange, the unusual, mysteries, ghosts, UFOs, and the afterlife, and so much more. ParanormalDate.com was developed for you, people seeking a viable alternative to the other dating services. You can join for free by going to ParanormalDate.com, and if you decide you like it and want to connect with people, use the code GEORGE for a substantial discount. Mark Rawlings, president of ParanormalDate.com, says so many people hunger to share their experiences about the paranormal, the unexplainable, or the afterlife, and so much more, and this is the source for them to meet and share that common interest. So sign up for free at ParanormalDate.com, ParanormalDate.com, and use the code GEORGE if you decide to connect with someone you like.
Rich Scheben's with us. Rich, I want to share this with you very quickly. The University of Missouri at Kansas City was looking for a speaker to headline a gala luncheon at the opening of a Women's Hall of Fame. So they thought they would contact Hillary Rodham Clinton. They were quoted $275,000 for Hillary Clinton to speak. So they decided that they'd get someone a little less expensive, but with the same last name. That would be Chelsea Clinton. She did the job for $65,000. I'm not really sure exactly what Chelsea Clinton brings to the equation. What has she done? What are her accomplishments? Where does this come from? Well, the source is the Washington Post. So Chelsea Clinton, $65,000 for 10 minutes. Can you imagine? So when you talked about royalty, I think that's what you were talking about. The elite.
Well, there's a lot of aspects, Ben. They're changing people's minds through intimidation, shaming, bribery, threats, blackmail. It's all done through force and fear. That's how you build the aristocracy. So the people, especially universities that get a lot of taxpayer monies, it drops down from the federal government in many forms. They feel like they got to kiss the right person's tushy. And this is why I say to folks that what's killing the middle class? Ignorance, apathy, and indifference, but the fear of the consequences of being politically incorrect is so damaging. If we are afraid to say the truth because we might ruffle somebody's feathers who might be on a certain aisle, that are manufacturing perception. They don't want you to tell the truth, and you know it. As long as we continue to keep buying in on this, every day we will lose more freedoms, more liberties, and then time and health, which are the third and fourth things that the middle class can't buy back, will continue to degrade the American population.
Rich, let me ask you this, different topic. Jumping ship, leaving the corporate environment, leaving the security of a paycheck, moving from where there are a lot of people, one of the most populated places in the United States of America, New York City and the surrounding environment, to go to the middle of nowhere in Montana, to your ranch. What were your concerns? Did you have any apprehension? Like, am I doing the right thing? And can you, in a minute or so, let us know what we might experience if we're willing to take the big plunge?
Well, folks, what's the most important thing? You have to realize what's important in life. Do you want to eat food that's not full of genetically that's not GMO, which proves to cause cancer, organ failure, DNA changes? Fluoride is so damaging, creating infertility and brain lesions and cancer as well. In city water, I mean, hormones, steroids, and antibiotics in our meats. You've got to ask yourself, do you want to be in a place where you have clean, uncontaminated water, access to good food, and be in a place where the natural resource to human population ratio is not compromised? You got to sit down with yourself, with your family, and realize what's really important. If you're one of those hamsters on a treadmill running to nowhere, and because taxes are so high, insurance is so high, or rent is so high, and you can't get ahead, you really have to sit down and maybe relearn a different plan of action. Now, for those of you who feel like you don't have enough capital to move, I've suggested this on many, many radio shows and in the book, where get together with like-minded individuals. Go to these preparedness expos. Go to Liberty Fellowship meetings. Go to places where like-minded people meet and talk to other individuals and create a plan of action so you can buy land with other people. And even if you don't have the capital resources, maybe you have certain skills you can barter. Maybe you have machinery. Maybe you're a carpenter. Maybe you could put up an alternative energy setup. Maybe you're a great gardener. Maybe you're a hunter and fisherman. You have to barter those skills with the people you want to set a new life with and create a new plan of action. It can be done. I've suggested this to many people, and so many people are doing this around the country right now.
Rich Scheben, thanks so much for being with us. Rich Scheben, offgridmontana.com. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Now, a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95, but now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of ionic silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and based on a recent study, it was found that 57 million Americans had legal issues over the last 12 months, but only 60% of those studied sought out the services of a lawyer. Why? In a nutshell, affordability. Well, my friends at Legal Shield have created a solution that can help you not if, but when you need an attorney. For as little as $17 per month, Legal Shield will provide you unlimited access to qualified attorneys at an accomplished law firm for advice and counsel on legal issues, no matter how serious or trivial. For over 40 years and with 1.4 million families across North America, Legal Shield can help you, the loyal GCN listener. Representatives are standing by now to answer your questions, so call them now at 1-855-340-SAVE. That's 1-855-340-7283, or visit them at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com.
Results will vary from case to case.